Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. I'm so glad you're here because today we're going to be diving into a beautiful project using the beads that came in the Softflex Company Beading Design Challenge Kit for June. Now if you're not familiar with that kit, I'll leave some information down below in the description section of this video, along with a link to the website in case you're interested. As you can see, this lovely necklace features a stunning focal flower bead paired with an array of gorgeous check beads. We'll be creating a necklace and matching pair of earrings that are perfect for adding a touch of elegance to any outfit. Whether you're a seasoned jewelry maker or just getting started, I'll show you step by step how to make this beautiful necklace and earring set. And don't forget that I always model my jewelry at the end of the tutorial, so please stick around for that. So grab your beads and let's get creative together. And here we have the Softflex Company Beading Design Challenge Kit. This kit was released end of June. Now if you don't have this kit, don't worry, you can still make this jewelry set because I'm going to be leaving a list of all the materials down below in the description section of this video. But anyway, as I was saying, this kit was released end of June and the name of this kit is Book Lovers. Of course it had some book charms and a bookmark and lots of really pretty beads. But when I saw the check flower bead, I got inspiration right away. And I couldn't resist these lentil beads, which are drilled off center, and that's going to make them sit really nicely on a strand. So let me show you the materials we're going to be using today. Here are the beads we're going to be using for today's project. And before we start, I want to give you a trigger warning. And this may sound silly, but if you don't like long nails, I'm just going to give you a warning that I do have long nails and my nail polish is pretty blingy, as you can see. I've been told by a couple of people that it's a little distracting, and that's why I'm giving you a little warning. And if you're hoping that I shorten my nails, the answer is no. And I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but I love my long nails and I'm not ready to shorten them. It's part of my personal style. It's kind of like your clothing style or your hairstyle. Everybody has preferences. Now eventually I may shorten them if I decide I don't want to wear them long anymore. But for the time being, I'm not going to shorten them. And I know most of you mean well and you're very respectful, and I do appreciate the feedback, so please don't take this the wrong way. But anyway, as I was saying, these are the beads we're going to be using. The ones over here came in the Jessie James Beads Design Elements bead mix, and these came in their own separate bag in case you have the kit. And like I said, if you don't have the kit, I'm going to leave all the details down below. But let me go ahead and give you the dimensions. These green barrel beads measure 8 by 7.5 millimeters, and they're faceted, as you can see. These oval beads measure 11 by 8 millimeters, and they're also faceted. And the color of these oval beads is kind of like a grayish purple color, which is why I chose these beads to go along with them. These measure 5 by 4 millimeters, and they're rondelles, as you can see. These lentil beads measure 6 millimeters across, and as you can see, they're drilled across the top from front to back. And this flower bead measures 18 millimeters across, and I think it's 4 millimeters thick, and it has a copper wash, as you can see. Now we're going to be using beading wire and chain today. We'll be using the beading wire that came in the kit. This is the Softflex Company Metallics beading wire. It's medium weight, and the diameter is 0.019 of an inch, or 0.48 millimeters, and the color is brass, as you can see. But you can use any color you want for this project because you're really not going to see the beading wire. In addition to all these items, we'll be using some chain, like I said before, some jump rings, some crimp tubes, wire guardians, and crimp covers. Now, one of the things I like to do is to arrange my beads ahead of time, and I don't use the mat or a beading board. What I like to use are these rods. These are called magic rods. I carry these in my Etsy store. They come in 2 sizes, 9 inches or 12 inches. And what I like about these is that I can load all kinds of beads and all kinds of shapes, and I'm able to bring them together using these stoppers to get an accurate measurement, which is something that you wouldn't be able to do with these lentil beads on a beading board. Now, before I came up with this idea, I used to just use a scrap piece of beading wire. You can certainly do that if you want to. But anyway, if you're interested in these rods, I'll leave a link down below to my Etsy store. So let me show you what I had in mind. I'm going to go ahead and load these lentil beads first, and I'm going to load about 5 of them. So here they are, and I've alternated between an opaque bead, a transparent bead, I'm not sure if you can see that, opaque, transparent, opaque, just like that. My next bead is going to be one of these oval beads, like this. As you can see, when I bring them together like this, the lentil beads sit staggered, which I think looks really, really cute. So now I'm going to load another 5 of these. So here they are. And once again, I've alternated them But this time I started with a transparent bead, then an opaque bead, transparent, opaque, transparent, just like that. So now I'm going to load a barrel bead, and I think that looks really, really cute. Let me keep loading the rest of these beads. As you can see, I've loaded all the beads. And can you see what I mean about the lentil beads, how they sit? I think that's so neat. It really is. I love that staggered effect. Now these two beads I'm going to use for earrings. So let me put them off to the side. The other nice thing about having a rod like this, not only does it hold the beads in alignment, but it makes it super easy to measure the length. Let me check the length. It's about 6 inches. Now the reason I have two of these purple ones here is because I'm going to hang the pendant in between them like that. And this is going to form the lower part of the necklace. And then I'll finish it off with some chain. And I don't know if you guys can hear the rain. I'm actually sitting in one of the upstairs rooms by the window. And you can hear the rain, helicopters, traffic, all kinds of things from up here. But anyway, let me get the materials for the pendant. I'm going to move this off to the side. I'm going to be using a small piece of chain. I'm only going to use about 3 of the lengths. But I like to have something to hold on to. So I'm not going to cut them off just yet. I'm going to need a couple of ball head pins. And I have some beads here that I'm going to attach to the bottom of the pendant. These two have jump rings. I'll show you how to do that in just a few moments. I have one up there that doesn't have it. And these two purple ones are going to be on ball head pins. I'm going to be using some 20 gauge wire. And the color of this wire is vintage bronze. It actually looks more copper than bronze, which is why I chose it. I've cut myself a small piece. Using my flat nose pliers, I'm going to grab the wire at about 3/8 of an inch down. Bend it like this. Using round nose pliers, I'm going to grab the end, making sure that it's flush with my barrels, and I'm going to form a loop. You want to make sure your loop is closed and centered. Let me flatten it out a little bit. So now I'm going to go ahead and slide it through the bead, like this. Grab it with my pliers, bend it, snip off the excess, leaving 3/8 of an inch. Grab the end, make sure it's flush, and form a loop. Just like that. One thing I like to do is to line up my loops. So I'm going to grab this one with these pliers, and I'm going to grab this one with another set to make sure they're lined up. And here I have a 4mm size jump ring. I'm going to open it up, pick up a lentil bead, and I'm going to slide it into that hole the best way I can. It's not going to be easy, but you have to go very slow. And there it is. So now I'm going to close it. You don't want to use jump rings that are very thick either, because they're not going to go through that hole. You do want to make sure you close them really well. So that one's done. And actually, now that I think about it, I probably should have waited until I was ready to put them on the chain, because now we're going to have to open them up again, unfortunately. Oh well, sometimes I don't think straight. It happens from time to time. I'm not perfect. So let me grab one. And I'm going to open it up again. Slide the chain into it. Like that. Close it up. So there's my first bead on the chain. It's much easier to have a long piece of chain like that when you're attaching dangles, because like I said before, you have something to hold on to. So now I'm going to attach one of these purple beads. Let me show you. I'm going to slide it onto my ball head pin. like that. Grab the pin with my round nose pliers, bend it, switch to this part of the pin, and as you can see, I'm further down the barrel. Wrap the pin around the nose of the pliers, flip the pliers around, continue to wrap to the back. And before I go any further, I need to open up this loop just a little bit. And I'm going to slide it into one of the links of the chain. And I think I'm going to slide it on this one, which is the second one from the bottom. Like this. I'm going to grab it with these pliers. These are actually crimping pliers, but I like to use them to grab loops because the tips are very skinny and they grab really well. And with these pliers, I'm going to grab the tail and create a couple of wraps. Using my flush cutters, I'm going to snip off the excess. Tuck in the little sharp end if you see one. And now I have two dangles attached. And that's how I'm going to attach the rest of them. So let me go ahead and attach them. As you can see, I've attached all my little dangles. Now it's a little difficult to see because the chain links are so small, but the bottom link has this lentil bead, and then the second link up has the purple bead on the right, the transparent lentil bead on the left, and then the third link has the opaque lentil bead on the right and the purple rondelle on the left. Now you don't have to do it like this. You don't have to be that precise because they're all going to hang down anyways. So now I'm going to attach all of this to one of the loops of the flower bead. Let me go ahead and open up the loop. I'm going to pick up this whole thing now and look for the last link. Let me go ahead and use my pliers to make things easy and so you can see better. I'm going to grab the link so I have one bead on one side of the link and the other bead on the other side of the link. Just like that. Let me go ahead and slide this pendant into it. There it is inside the link. And now I'm going to go ahead and close it. And now that it's attached, I can go ahead and snip off the excess chain. So I'm going to use my flush cutters again. And I'm going to look for that link, which is this one right here. So there's my pendant. I think it's super cute. So now we're going to go ahead and string these beads onto some beading wire. And since I know this is 6 inches long, I'm going to cut myself a 10-inch piece. I always give myself 2 inches extra at each end for the crimping. Here's my beading wire. I'm going to place a clip at this end. You can use a bead stopper if you want to. So now I'm going to offload from the rod. To offload from the rod, I hold on to this end. And now I'm going to slowly take the stopper off this end. Slide off a bead. And slide it onto my beading wire. Now these lentil beads are tricky, so I'm just going to do one at a time. Usually I can do a stack, but since they're drilled off center, I'm just going to do them one by one. So let me keep going. As you can see, I've loaded half of them. Now I'm going to load one more of these, the purple ones, and the pendant. So that's what we have so far. So let me keep sliding on the rest. As you can see, I've strung on all the beads. Now would be a good time to take a screenshot if you want to, but let me go over the beads with you again. I have 2 purple rondelles on the ends, and then I have stacks of 5 lentil beads, alternating between transparent and opaque. So in this stack, I have an opaque bead on the end, then a transparent bead, opaque in the center, transparent, opaque, and in the next stack, it's a little different. It's a transparent on the end, then an opaque, transparent, opaque, transparent. And again, opaque, transparent, opaque, transparent, opaque, transparent, opaque, transparent, opaque, transparent. But again, guys, you don't have to be this precise. You can just load them on randomly, and that would be fine. And of course, on the left is a repeat. So now we're going to crimp off the ends and attach some chain. Let me get the materials for that. Here I have 2 pieces of chain. Each one measures about 6 inches. I have another shorter piece here that I'm using as an extended chain because it has links that are slightly bigger, as you can see. I've already attached a lentil bead to the end. I used a jump ring just like I did on the dangles. I have a lobster clasp. So now we're going to go ahead and crimp off the ends. Here I have 2 crimp tubes, 2 crimp tube covers, and 2 wire guardians. And if you're just tuning in, I just want to let you know that my nails are long and it may trigger you, and I'm sorry about that. I talked about it at the beginning of this video, and it's a shame that I have to keep bringing it up, but I'm doing it just in case you're triggered by it. I've actually had one viewer leave a comment that she had to leave my channel because she couldn't stand looking at my nails. I do get a lot of nice compliments though, and I'm super grateful for that. I really do appreciate it. But anyway, that's enough about that. Let me go ahead and show you how to do this. I'm going to remove the clip. I'm going to slide on a crimp tube, just like that. And now I'm going to attach one of these wire guardians, and I'm using my pliers so that you can see what I'm doing. Let me do it this way. So there's the wire guardian. I'm going to slide this end of the beading wire down one of these little channels. It's hard to see. But anyway, there it is. And now I'm going to slide down the other end. So let me grab that wire guardian. There it is. And now I'm going to slide down the crimp tube. Like that. And down this first bead. Like that. I like to close these legs a little bit. You do want to hold these pieces apart like this. And now I'm going to use the first notch of my crimping pliers. That's the one that creates the taco shape. I'm going to place the crimp tube inside that notch. You want to make sure the wire guardian isn't in the way. And now I'm going to go ahead and squeeze. Turn it sideways. Place it inside one of the first 3 notches. I usually choose the second one out of the 3. And now I'm going to squeeze, and that folds the crimp tube over. I always go to the end to tighten it up as well. So there it is. Now I am going to trim the beading wire, but not just yet. I have to attach a crimp tube cover. So I'm going to come in from underneath. Like that. And I'm going to close it using these pliers. These are also crimping pliers. I usually go all the way around to get a nice round shape. you do want to do it gently so you don't dent the metal. So there it is. And now I'm going to trim off that wire. Slide my beads down. Let me just make sure that wire stays in there. You do want to take out the slack because you want those lentil beads to sit staggered like that. That's what you want. So now I'm going to do the same thing to this end. I'm going to go through that wire guardian, down one end, and now down this end. And now down the tube, the crimp tube. And the first bead. And by the way, I'm not going down the second bead because it's a lentil bead and the hole is very small. And this beading wire is thick and it doesn't fit. Let me pull it out. Take out the slack. Close up that wire guardian a little bit. Make sure there are no spaces. And now let me go ahead and place the tube inside the first notch. Making sure the wire guardian is out of the way. And I'm going to squeeze. Turn it sideways. Place it into one of the first 3 notches. And again, you want to make sure the wire guardian is out of the way. And now I'm going to squeeze and tighten it up. Let me slide on the crimp tube. And let me cut off the excess beading wire. So this is the bottom part of the necklace. I think it looks super cute. So now I'm going to attach these 2 pieces of chain, the extended chain and the lobster clasp. I have 3 4mm jump rings and 1 6mm jump ring. Let me pick up a small one first. Open it up. Slide some chain into it. Slide this end of this piece like that. Close it up. Let me open up another one. Slide this other piece of chain into it. And slide this other end into it as well. Like that. Close it up. Let me open up this other little one. Slide my clasp into it. Slide this chain into it. Like that. Close it up. going to open up this larger one. Slide the extended chain into it. And slide the other end into it as well. Like that. And close it up. So this necklace is done. And tell me that's not adorable. I think it's really pretty. I love these colors. I don't know what it is about check beads. The colors and finishes are always so pretty and they coordinate very well with each other for some reason. And I do want to model this necklace for you, but before I do, we're going to make a quick pair of earrings. So let me get the materials for that. Here are the materials for the earrings. As you can see, I've already made one. I used a barrel bead and one of the purple rondelles. I also attached some dangles, the same way that I did for the pendant. As you can see, I've already attached some on this piece of chain. And if you missed out on seeing that part of the tutorial, you can rewind this video, but I'm also going to leave some timestamps down below to make it easier for you to navigate to that point. And this is super easy, guys, because this is a very simple earring. I don't like to make my earrings too complicated. I have a piece of 20 gauge wire. I'm going to grab it with my pliers about 3/8 of an inch down, bend it, grab it with my round nose pliers so that it's flush with my barrels, and form a loop. You want to make sure your loop is closed and centered. I know I keep repeating myself, but I do it for the benefit of the beginners. Let me flatten it out. And now I'm going to load this purple bead. And now the barrel bead. Grab the wire with my pliers. Bend it. Snip off the excess, leaving 3/8 of an inch. Grab it with my round nose pliers and form a loop. Let me close it up a little bit more. It wasn't quite closed. That's better. And now I'm going to grab the loop with these pliers and grab this loop to make sure my loops are lined up. Let me open up this loop now, and I'm going to grab this chain. I need to grab the length that has the first dangle, which is this one right here, and I'm going to slide it into my loop, just like that. Let me close it up. Let me just show you. As you can see, the length that has the first dangle is inside my loop. So now I need to cut off the excess. Let me just pick it up again. I'm going to cut this length right here. And that was super easy. So now I just need to attach the ear wire hook. I'm going to open up this loop now. Attach the ear wire hook. And close up the loop. I think these earrings are adorable. I hope you like them as well. So now let me go get the necklace and I'll arrange everything on my table. Well, here's my pretty necklace and earring set. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I hope you like it as well. I hope I've given you some tips on how to attach the lentil beads. As always, I'd like to go ahead and model these pieces, so please stick around for that. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Have a great day and I'll see you next time. Bye.